All right. And then Paula asked, how will the pandemic affect the political climate this year and after? That is that's an interesting question. So here's what we're going to say, first of all, to that. The person who sits in the White House is not really driven by the pandemic. And I'm guessing many of you know this already. So we cannot answer that from that perspective. What we can say is that the people who experienced the pandemic, or the people who doubted it and experienced it, or know somebody who experienced it, it will impact them in ways you might imagine. Some of them will include getting out there and voting. Some of them, it will wake them up to understand that this is that the current path that we're on is not in their best interest, and that indeed, in order to have things shift, that they will need to go out and vote for a change in management, we'll call it. Vote for a change in management. And we see this coming. There are fluctuations in the energy system, we'll say, in the energy system of the earth. And as these things fluctuate, the candidate, Mr. Biden, and the current occupant, Mr. Trump, they will go back and forth in their ratings, we'll say, or their positions in the polls. We think this is, we see this as normal. We think this is normal. We say, again, go out and vote, whatever that means to you. Your voice needs to be heard, and we need to be careful that this is a huge effort on your way to stifle that. And so if anything is to be fought for, it is to be fought for the right to continue to vote. So many months ago, we saw a shift in who would take over the White House, and it would be Mr. Biden. And while we see some fluctuations, we still feel that is a viable outcome at this point. And that will, of course, bring about many changes. And people are ready for that, many of them. Of course, we know that not everybody is, and we must be patient with those people. So be patient with them. The outcomes that I'm giving you today, I need to say this. I was going to say this up front and I forgot. The outcomes that we're giving you today are the possible outcomes. These are possible outcomes based on the energy and the perspective of the current moment. There are limitless possibilities. And so we bring in the strongest energy as we perceive it now. Okay, just know that. Of course, I feel like a salesperson when I say this, things are subject to change. But it just is. It's the way it is. We are an energy system, and we are ever changing. And we are a movement, and you can be a movement. So engage in your movement, whatever that means to you. All right, we feel like we want to move on from there.